This is Real Talk on Thursday.
We're back in Atlantic City with your girl DJ Jada.
I'm DJ Lee, and today we have a special guest from our school. And who are you?
I am Miss Kane, Tanya Kane, the job placement coordinator here at the high school.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so our topic today is basically jobs for teens. It's kind of hard to find a job.
How you help them out and everything.
It's hard finding a job. Wow, this year, a lot of teens are having trouble, and what are some tips that teens can do to try to make their little job hunt a little easier?
Okay. First of all, the reason why it's so difficult is we're in a seasonal town. So after the holiday season, Christmas, everything kind of dies down. It gets very slow, and businesses are cutting costs. And one of the ways they cut costs is reducing the number of employees or reducing their hours. So with that said, it's very difficult for students to find jobs because the full-time workers that are out there, their hours are being cut. As far as what you can do now to prepare for work and to get a job, keep the grades up. That's important. When an employer looks at your report card, it tells them, what kind of student you are. If you have good grades and you have a good attendance record, the employer looks at that as transferable skills that you would apply to your job. So keeping the grades up, students can work on their resume now so that when companies begin to hire closer to the spring, a well-written resume that tells a little bit about the student, that can also help.
What do employers look for when they're looking for an employee?
They look for reliability. They want to know that when they hire you, you're going to come to work, you're going to come to work ready, and you're going to have a positive attitude. They also look for whether or not you have experience in school and experience working on the job. They still look for activities, things that you've done in school. So, for example, a student who has been on a soccer team or the high school track team or belong to a club, that's important to an employer because you have to learn how to get along with your teammates, your fellow club members. So although a student doesn't have a lot of work experience, if they have experience and they're successful in working with their teammates, then the employer says, okay, perhaps, they would also be able to work well with their coworkers. Appearance matters too. A nice clean appearance, no facial rings, the nose rings, the lip rings, all of that. Tattoos are very important, to not have them in visible areas. A good example of that is the Rebel Casino that's recently hired. They're not hiring students, but they're not hiring workers with visible tattoos.
Really?
Yeah, so that's very important. If you're going to get a tattoo, make sure it's in a discreet place. The hair should be nice and neat, no crazy colors, the purple, greens, and all of that. Shaved sides. For the most part, a conservative, clean look because you have to appear approachable to the customers. So they're looking at you and they're saying, okay, how will my customers feel about approaching you or this potential worker for assistance? So that's a big part of it. Clothing, of course.
Yeah, how would you dress clothing-wise?
For an interview?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. No jeans, sneakers, hoodies, sweatshirts, visible electronic devices, all of that stuff is out. Very conservative. A nice pair of blue or black slacks. Ladies, a blouse, button-down blouse, or a nice sweater. You can wear a scarf and be fashionable. For the young men, a sweater or a button-down shirt. I always recommend a tie. A lot of employees don't necessarily anticipate high school students coming in with a tie, but it will make a difference and a lasting impression. Nails, not too long for the ladies. Conservative. Be cautious with the designs, on them logos, that kind of stuff. But a real neat, conservative appearance. Not a lot of jewelry, not a lot of rings, bracelets on their arm. Mild mild in terms of the perfume, cologne. They shouldn't smell you coming through the door. And of course, good hygiene, brushing your teeth, bathing, showering, all that good stuff.
Now, I did do the PAL thing
Yes.
a while ago. So, is it harder this year, or is there a certain amount of? Did they go down the number of people that they're hiring this year?
As far as I know, the number is about the same, which is typically around 100 to 120 students. What I think will probably make it harder is more students are applying for PAL because less employers are hiring. So the job market has affected students' ability to get work. A lot of the companies out there that are hiring, the jobs that typically they hired students, for example, I went to Wawa, I was getting gas, and there was an older gentleman pumping gas. And I asked him, I said, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Well, he was in his middle 60s. And I was like, wow, that's a job that a high school student would do. So if I'm an employer, I'm looking at, okay, I have a 16, 17-year-old, and I have a 60-some-year-old as my applicant. Who am I going to hire? Who's going to come to work? Who's going to go to the party Friday night or Saturday night and either not come in or come in late? Who's going to want off for different events? And so that's the challenge for you guys now is you're competing against adults who, 5 years ago weren't working as many as those jobs. So more students, I think, are applying for programs like the PAL program.
Are there more programs that teens can go for?
No, I wish there were. If anybody's out there listening, help us. I would say PAL is probably the biggest one in our area in Atlantic City. There may be a couple other smaller programs with different agencies, but my knowledge, PAL hires the largest number of students. So we hope that continues and maybe they get more funding and can hire even more.
I hope. So where is the best place that a teen should look when they're looking for a job?
Okay. A teen who is 14 or 15, there are strict labor laws that regulate the number of hours and how long you can work. So if you're 14 or 15, the best jobs during the summer is fast food restaurants. Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell, Popeyes, all of those places. During the summer, they will hire 14 and 15-year-olds. Retailers such as stores at the Tanger Outlets, which is formerly The Walk, most of those you have to be at least 16 years old. And the reason being is because of the restrictions. At 14 and 15, you can only work up to 7 p.m. during the school year, up to 9 during the summer. You can only work 18 hours per week during the school year and only 3 hours per day. So that's kind of hard to fit into. Yeah, it's kind of hard, but the laws are in place to protect you. So 16-year-olds, the retailers, they're the best places. You can go, there's a lot of stores over there that hire 16-year-olds, the Targets, the Walmarts, some of those stores, but definitely the retailers. Other possibilities, though, that a lot of students don't think about is going into a law office. If you have good clerical skills, you're a good filer, you can type, you speak well. During the summer, they may hire. Some of them will hire a student to help out in the office. But when you do that, you have to go in there presenting yourself in a very professional way so that they see that side of you and consider you. But there are options. So you have to think outside of the box and maybe go in a different direction from what everybody else is doing. And of course, networking, that's the biggest thing. Tell everybody you know that you're looking for work. If you have family, friends that work for a company, I've seen students get jobs that way where I don't even have an in. Yeah, so networking is important too.
How much is minimum wage?
The minimum wage is $7.25 an hour.
Could you work in this school particularly?
The PAL program sometimes places students in the city, so they could be in here. They could work. They could work in the summer camps, but particularly the high school, PAL or
Boys and Girls Club?
Boys and Girls Club, yes. And sometimes incoming freshmen through another program, through our admin building. Incoming freshmen are placed here. But you know, it never hurts to help. You could always go over to the administration building with your resume, tell them that you're looking to work part-time for the summer, and who knows, all things are possible.
Now, could say you worked for the POW program before and you got fired, could they hire you again?
It probably depends on why you were fired. Just like with any company, some employees are terminated and are eligible to be rehired, and others are not. So it would probably depend on why the person was terminated. So it is important to work really hard during that summer program to gain good experience and to get so that you leave on a positive note, so that you can possibly come back the next summer, or even use that employer as a reference for another job the following summer, since you'll be a year older.
Mm-hmm. So our next question would be, how do our students obtain their working papers?
It's a very good question. Working papers are issued by me at the high school, and you must have a job offer to receive working papers. So once you've gone out, applied, interviewed, and was offered the job, then you come to my office. I'm in G200F in the guidance office on the second floor. A lot of students think you need the work permit or the working papers. It's the same thing. People just call it different names. But a lot of students think that they need that to get the job. You do not need the working papers. On the job application, it will say, do you have a work permit? And you can just check off yes, because it is here, it is available to students. The work permit requires students to have their employer complete it, their parent or guardian has to sign it, and a doctor has to sign it to make sure that you are in good health for the job, and then I eventually approve it.
How can students reach you for any information?
Okay, there's several ways to reach me. Obtaining a pass from your teacher and coming up to see me. Students can also reach me by email at tkane@acboe.org. I also have a website, a webpage that is located on the homepage of the high school's page, and it says on the far left column, Student Employment, Career and Employment Center. And at that site, I have the job listings there. Students should subscribe to the site, so that when I update the list, when I update it with any job or career-related information, you'll receive an email in your own personal inbox, which is a great way to be in the know. Real quick, also on that site, I have sample resumes, interview questions there, links to a really good website for you all called mynextstep.org. And that website is great if you're not sure what you want to do when you graduate, or you have a general idea but not 100% certain. You can research the specific career or related careers. The website gives you a salary range of how much you can make. The website has links to schools that offer programs in those particular areas. The website also tells you the job or career you're interested in, whether it is a career that is growing, that is projected to grow, and more jobs will be out there, or if it's a job or career that is declining, so that you have excellent information. Great website.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
I might have to check that website
Please
out
do.
myself.
A lot of information in there for you guys.
Now back to working papers. Do they need working papers every time they get a job?
Yes, the question. Yes. For each job that a student gets, they need a new set of working papers, which seems like a lot.
Wait, how long are the working papers?
Well, as long as you you get hired at McDonald's during the summer. That work permit is good for just McDonald's. If it says on the work permit that it's just a summer job, it's just good for the summer. But if it just says, if it doesn't have per se an expiration date, then it's good as long as you're working at McDonald's. Let's say you work there during the summer and then get a new job in September, you need a new set of working papers. And the reason is the New Jersey Department of Labor, they actually they review the work permits, and they have what we call field investigators who go out and check the work sites to make sure they are safe for students and to make sure that employers are complying with all of the labor laws. A really good example for you all is if you're a minor, the law says that you cannot work more than 5 hours without at least a 30-minute break.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of students don't know that. Some employers don't know that. So that is something that they would check to make sure.
Now, are you in the office all summer? Like, is there a way that we can't reach you during the summer if we do get a job, like during July or August?
All right, good question. I am in the office. I'm a 10-month employee, so I'm there from September to the end of the school year. During the summer months, the secretaries in the guidance office, they issue the work permits. So and I usually put a sign on my door that says, if I'm not here, see the guidance secretary. So a student can get them year-round.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.
And this was DJ Jada.
And DJ Leah's Real Talk on Thursdays. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Any questions, baby?